Final.
All the 6 riders have won lots
In that,
of
we have
tournaments.
Francois Pervy from France, Chris Hoy, the Sir Chris Hoy, as I refer.
And are ready to give
Maximum
us
Levy, last year's world champion in the Keirin. Asai
then we
Awang
can see that Keirin competition
from Malaysia. Toon Mulder from Holland, world champion in 2005. Yeah, it was a year after me, 2005. And Sam Webster from New Zealand. So Sam's up-and-coming rider. I think he's proven himself. I think he won one of the sprinting events at one of the World Cups this year. So he's got some talent. But let's see Chris. Chris, if you were watching earlier and saw the second round of Chris, he went hard and long. He got to the front very early on and just basically dragged the race out. Hopefully it didn't damage him too much. Hopefully he's got plenty left in the tank. But I'm sure to see a very similar tactic. Chris likes to get to the front, wind it up, and basically when Chris does get to the front, if he's allowed to get to the front, it's very nearly impossible to get around him. And that's one of the other guys. I'm sure people are going to learn Chris's tactic, and whether people are going to maybe try and box him in or hinder him from doing that. But
I think that's what they're liable to do as the journey bike comes out. You think that's exactly what they'll be doing, because they know if he gets to the front and he can just power on once the journey bike pulls off, then they've really got no chance of getting around it. It's Francois Pervy, Chris Hoy, Maximilian Levy, Azul Hassani, Awang, Toon Mulder, and Sam Webster. Webster really the surprise package of this group. The rest of them very, very established. Pervy, very good leg speed, aggressive rider, strong, very consistent. Webster has only got 2 points from the World Cup this year, but he's done really well to get to this final. Toon Mulder, super rider, really has been up there. And had a little bit of a dip for a couple of years, but has come back up again. Maximilian Levy, the defending champion. Now we're going to see another champion retain his title today. We've already seen that in the Taylor Finney. And Awang, very, very good leg. I don't think Awang's on absolutely top form, because he's a much smaller rider. There he is. He's the World Cup winner, but he's a much smaller rider, and he's got super leg speed. He's a bit like a sort of Victoria Pendleton of the men's world. He's not so much of a kick to start with, but when he gets going and he can turn on at leg speed, that's wonderful. Chris Hoy, Sir Chris Hoy, as you just said, utterly dominant in sprint eventing for the last 6 years, just completely dominant. Here we come. And away they go. 8 laps then, and Webster going straight to the front in ahead of Chris Hoy. Very, very tight indeed. Oh, Wang is trying to hold that up. There's a bit of a niggle, and they're stopping it. They're stopping it because everybody trying to boss their way into that position.
So like I was saying earlier, you put that huge effort off the start line because they all want to try and get the bike or fight for their position, but then you're gaining momentum, but the motorbike is moving at a fixed speed, and then all of a sudden you find yourself catching the motorbike, and as you can see here, everyone's kind of starting to back it up. They want to get on the track, but they can't. And
there was some touching between riders, but
I think that was the glass. They looked like there was a damaged wheel on Awang, but I think it was just the glass reflecting there.
So who is responsible there in that position?
I'm not sure.
I think actually Chris Hoy looked like he was, but he's got a position. I mean, it's not as if he's pushing anybody out. He's taken a position, and other riders are trying to take that position.
I don't think it was Chris. I think Awang was down on the inside of the track. I think he should have made more of an effort to come back. Obviously, Levy wasn't going to let him in the line. Levy was going to fight for his spot in the line. But let's see, I don't think they haven't announced anyway that anyone's been disqualified. Maybe they're just going to restart it.
It could be possible they just thought that this could develop into something a bit nasty if they don't stop it and make sure they start cleanly. Look at Sam Webster, desperate to get in the front there.
Chris had nowhere to go. Sam's backing up. He doesn't want to catch the motorbike. Chris has got nowhere to go. It's and it's tricky. The 43-degree turns here. It's not like you can just drop right up the turn and get out of the way. It's very difficult technically to even ride the bike around the turn at that speed.
Chris, you see in the slow-mo there, Chris certainly moved down the track, but that's basically to avoid colliding with Webster's rear wheel. And then Awang had nowhere to go. Everybody was desperate to get that second spot there. So,
well, they're all back on the line, so no one was disqualified.
Just a safety issue, really.
Yeah. I'm sure there's that. It's probably good, actually, and it's nice sometimes to have a restart. You kind of, the nerves would have eased away a little bit, or sometimes gained. I don't know, we'll see. But
how much do some riders thrive on this environment that, you know, things are a little bit edgy in the Keirin, things can happen, and other riders don't like it at all? They like it planned out all the time.
I think you do. I want to say that every one of them loves it. You love the environment, you love the race, you love the competition. That is why you do it. You long to do it, you want to do it, and that's why I did it. You just have, it's fun. Yeah, it looks dangerous. It can be dangerous. You go at great speeds. It's very hard work. Your legs are burning and stinging, but it's such fun. It's like, it's an addiction. You love doing it. Derny just making its way around turn 4. We're coming up close.
Clean start. Levy deciding, do you know what? I had enough of that. I'm going straight to the front.
Definitely some mind games, I think, going on here. Some quite aggressive moves right there.
They're trying to freak Chris Hoy out. That's what they're trying to do.
Chris is a tough character, and I'm sure he's not going to be fazed by it. Interesting manoeuvre there by Sam Webster, the guy from New Zealand, was very eager to get the bike the first time. He didn't look like he even tried that time. But, to be honest with you, I really don't think it's not a huge thing about where you are in that line. It's all about how you attack the race from once the motorbike's off. It doesn't really matter if you're at the back, you can catch everyone out. If you're at the front, obviously you're a little bit further ahead of everyone, but then, you know, so much changes so quickly. It's really, at the end of the day, it's how much speed you got in your legs the last couple of laps.
This has been a fascinating competition so far. We've had all sorts of dramas coming into this final. People getting there in all sorts of ways, and some of the big favourites like Josiah Eng not making it at all because it's a stupid manoeuvre, came across the front of people. It took Chris Hoy out, and Roy Vandenberg collided with Chris Hoy as well. And some of those low-speed crashes can be the most dangerous. It's not some, the high-speed ones, you get splinters and road rash and all sorts, but the low-speed ones are collarbone breakers. So very lucky, not a good move by Josiah Eng. 5 laps to go, then the Derny man getting used to coming around over and over again. Tone Mulder right in the middle of this group. Interesting guy, he likes to spring surprises. He knows where the two, he thinks the dangers are. Is Awang, the World Cup winner, and Chris Hoy ahead of it. Chris Hoy once again is a bike and a half length behind Maximilian Levy. Now why they're not worried about Levy, I don't know, because he's been on really good form, and Levy is making sure he's putting a little bit of a distance between himself and Chris Hoy. This will play into his hands.
Chris wants to leave a bit of room to Levy. He wants some room for the manoeuvre for exactly these reasons. Purvis just popped round the outside there, taking the front. Good manoeuvre by Purvis.
So often the case, isn't it, coming from behind. Chris Hoy now trying to go over the top. He's got the long way round to go. Purvis is going to keep holding that line. Maximilian Levy is the outgoing champion. He's boxed in at the moment. Awang, he always wanted to be on the wheel of Chris Hoy. As they come round, they're going to take the bell. Chris Hoy at the front. Has Awang got the speed to come round him? The World Cup winner. He's still on his wheel. Still on his wheel. Chris Hoy's going to try and take this run. Now Awang tries to wind it up. Hoy is going to take it. Chris Hoy is going to be the world champion. He knows he is. Chris Hoy surely takes it. Awang absolutely throws himself at the line. Almost got to him, but Hoy knows he's got it. Oh, he went through all types of situations to get to that final. All sorts of situations trying to put him off. They tried to bully him. He's now said, come on, guys, you think you're hard enough. Take me on.
That was very impressive. My hands are sweating. I'm sitting here on the edge of my seat. I wanted to jump in there, but oh man, what a ride there by Chris. He got a little bit nervous, he got to the front. How the guy can maintain that speed for that amount of time, seriously. When you go flat out on a track bike, you've got about 10, 15 seconds of maximum effort. Then the lactic acid just stops pumping in your legs, and it stings, it burns, your legs want to stop pedaling. Chris was doing that. He was out there at the front for probably around 30-odd seconds and still brings it home in a 10.4, which is not quite as quick as what Matt did earlier, but he went a lot longer.
Look at the way he went around the top and took that position at the front. And then Awang is fighting for a space to get on his wheel with Francois Purvis, who started to get towards it. Look, Awang comes at him, almost there. The wheelie from Awang, as we see so often, throws it at the line, but a half a wheel length behind. I don't know, but I think that is the most impressive win I've seen from Chris Hoy.
It is, I think it is. And the pressure was on him. You know, he was out from injury earlier on, and, you know, to come back, regain that title was brilliant.
And that's wonderful.
And I was watching him, I'm sure you saw on the monitor, just coming into turn 3. you can see he was starting to tie up a little bit. He was losing that fluidity within his pedal stroke, but obviously the others were having their effect on them too. But to be able to hang on like that, obviously just goes to show you that the training he's doing, I won't tell you what it is, is paying off.
There's lots of people listening who might want to tell other people.
Fantastic. He's very happy with that. He's over the moon. He would have been, you know, I've heard he's been pretty nervous coming here. You know, the pressure is on, and the pressure is going to keep mounting as we get towards London. But to keep coming out there and dominating the Keirin, it's remarkable that Chris can come out there and do it again. I'm very happy for him. Again, great ride by there, Awang. Didn't quite have enough there to get Chris on the line. Maximum Levy, I'm sure he's going to be a little bit disappointed. Last year's world champion. He's going to have to settle for bronze this year. Tim Mulder, good ride by Toon. Francois Purvis, I'm sure he's going to be disappointed that he didn't initiate some moves earlier on in the race, but just didn't have the legs left in him. And then Sam Webster picking up the rear.
So finally, we get a gold medal in Great Britain. It's Chris Hoy. Sir Chris once again saves the day. Awang takes the silver medal, and Maximilian Levy takes a bronze. Can't defend his title, but terrific ride by Hoy. Well, a wonderful end to the Keirin, and how much effort does it take to go right around somebody there trying to boss you? You've done this job already yourself as a world champion, and that's a terrifically good ride.
I don't know how he does it. I know how he does it. It's from hard work, dedication, and good planning, and some serious training, I can tell you. And he's a long distance man.